Welcome to Scary Time by Indie Drop-In Network. Each week we feature an episode from the best independent creators. Subscribe for great scary content. If you would like to help Indie Drop-In support indie creators, you can buy us a coffee. Just go to buymeacoffee.com/indie drop-in or click the link in the show notes below. Today's episode is from Move Away Podcast. Don't forget to check out the show notes for links to subscribe and follow on social media. Enjoy the show.
Begin.
I feel very blue. Yes, I do. Can you tell?
When our quarantine began, their quarantine finally came to an end.
It was just like the nightmare where I test positive. I can feel my lungs collapsing, but before I wake up. What was that? Oh, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. It was. Oh God. Okay. Oh my God! Please no. Oh, my whole throat. God damn it! My whole throat. Did you see it, Professor? Oh my God, man! Oh my God! I kept following this person. They looked like they were wearing some sort of hospital gown, or like, and this is gonna sound crazy, but sometimes it. Oh my God! Fuck! It looked like an open straight jacket. But then I'd look again, and the jacket, it just wasn't there. I have no idea what it was, but I think it's only sort of a person. I know it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense, but it seemed like it was walking and floating at the same time. It was all wrapped up in those cloth wrappings you didn't want us to see, but it wasn't. But it was, and when it was on me, oh my God, fuck. No, and then it just. And then it just wasn't anymore. And I was lying there, thinking it didn't happen. That maybe I'd had another anxiety attack. But I saw my face mask lying there on the ground. The elastic headband I'd cut into strings were snapped, where it would have been ripped off my face. I think that I'm... Fuck. I think it thought that I was all bound up like it was. I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening.
The voice you're hearing belongs to Adam Combs. Though timestamps have long since been removed from the hundreds of recordings he made on his quarantine log, it seems to have been recorded somewhere in Buffalo, New York, sometime during early March of 2020. This recording is not the first in the story of Adam Combs, and it's far from the last. It is, however, the first snippet of audio to make its way onto the internet from a collection of recordings that would in time earn the name the Queen City Recordings. But chances are, if you're listening to this, you knew that already. The Queen City Recordings don't really seem to come from anywhere. In reality, it's more like they don't really come from any one place. Most horror film aficionados, creepypasta junkies, and internet lore archivists have heard of the Queen City Recordings, and some have heard a handful of them, but it's rare to find anyone who can provide compelling evidence that they've listened in full to the Queen City Recordings. That might be because we're not even sure what the full Queen City Recordings refers to. Every once in a blue moon, a new, and I put that in air quotes with a big parenthesized question mark, recording pops up at a crusty old 4chan board, in conspiracy theory forums, and in QR codes buried in dying MMOs by anonymous users. Eventually, it became a meme in specific circles to share the most common ones in the most over-the-top way possible. I've even found them when I wasn't trying to in place of custom designs in Animal Crossing. Anything that seems relevant to quarantine seems to attract them. I've read up on a time or two when Zoom bombers have put them to use. But some exhibitions of the recordings feel less jokey. In a murder investigation on a local news channel near Muskegon, Michigan, A plain-looking man emerged from a milling crowd behind the reporter and briefly displayed a sign with a QR code on it. It linked to a recording, one that, to the best of my knowledge, had never been heard before. It's occurrences like this that make it difficult to say we have the full story, let alone where that story begins, or ends, or how it was even distributed to begin with. This is why I've set out with this project, tentatively called Move Away, to try and centralize all of the known recordings and edit them into some kind of coherent linear narrative. Hopefully, this will put a stop to all the bickering on Queen City Recordings Reddit about when, exactly, Marcus stopped social distancing with Adam, or whether, or how much, Brody ever really knew about what was going on here. The real question, though, has nothing to do with the story, so much as what kind of story it is. If you've heard any of these recordings already, then you understand why most people would prefer to believe that none of this ever really happened. There's a rule in online horror communities like r/nosleep and creepypasta forums that you must presume the story to be real if you're going to engage with it. It helps with verisimilitude, that feeling of having actually happened that multimedia stories are so good at conjuring up. I've always thought it was because all of their components, screen caps, JPEGs, audio recordings and shaky videos, tweets and short snippets of text, all of these things are the kinds of media we make ourselves, that you could scroll through your phone and find en masse. This rule doesn't apply to the Queen City recordings. When a story that is not just creepy, but dangerous, starts to feel too real, there's a real human need to pull back the curtain and say, hey, this was all a trick, it's for fun, don't cry, don't be scared. That's why I think the general consensus is that the Queen City recordings are a very well-produced multimedia horror fiction intended to capitalize on the all-too-real fears of the COVID-19 pandemic. I have my own ideas about this and my own opinions on the reality of the production of the Queen City recordings. But if you know even a little bit about them, you know as much as I did when I started this project, and only slightly less than what I know right now, at the time of this recording. If you don't know anything about them, well, you are about to.
Hey. Huh? Hey. What? What the hell is that? What? Fuck. Jeez. Who's out there? Oh, fuck. Shit.
Notice how Adam was already recording himself sleeping before the noises began. If these recordings aren't real, that's a plot hole right off the bat. If they are real, that says a lot about him.
The raccoons were fighting again last night. Scared the shit out of me first time I heard it, but I got used to it after a couple nights. Then it scared the shit out of me that I got used to it. One of the neighbors said they cleared out a bunch of brush a few blocks over, and ever since then those little bastards have been active as hell. What with nowhere to go and all. I don't know. Seems to me like they just saw we were all inside and didn't wait for a second till they were slashing up trash bags. They're bold, I'll give them that. If they didn't shriek in the yard every night, I might even kind of like them, honestly. I was eating on the patio the other day and saw one up close. It's still more cold than it should be out, but I've been doing it a lot anyways. It's a good excuse to be out and about in a sense. I remember seeing something out of the corner of my eye and assuming I'd left my fuzzy hat with the ear flaps out there or something, and there it was. Just staring at me like it was my little gray dog just begging for a piece of chicken from my drunken noodles or whatever. I stood up and it didn't do anything really. It just kept staring. It didn't run till I screamed at it. I felt kind of bad afterwards. It didn't seem like it meant any harm, and their weird little fingers are almost kind of cute. But I mean, I've heard those things scream too. It isn't pretty. What are they even fighting about? I don't understand what two raccoons could have against each other. Isn't there enough garbage to go around? I do like them though. You know, their faces are so curious. I'm just not sure I want to keep tying a brick to the top of my trash. Every time I bang the broom against the wall to scare them off Brody's porch, I think about how much time they must spend on mine. I think I'm gonna get an airsoft gun or something. Not to shoot them with, or I don't want to hurt them, and just to scare them away when I see them. I really do like them, honestly. I just don't want them to get used to thinking of this lot as theirs.
It seems to be the next morning. With the appearance of Adam's neighbor from a slight distance, I'm guessing this is the porch where Adam gets his outdoor time.
I don't really know if that raccoon recording's really going to be anything I can show to River. It's sort of weird and random. Maybe I should just delete it.
Yo, if it isn't Mr. Night Owl himself. Surprised you up this early, man. Heard you recording a podcast or whatever, like, mad late last night.
Oh, you did, No, sorry, it's not a podcast. I know I give off that vibe. It's like a dream journal, for a thing.
Cool, yeah. Anything crazy about this whole stay-at-home shit, right? I remember when a face mask was just a penalty, am I right?
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of football, I don't know if you follow me on social or not, but I got into it with this dumbass Jets fan, man. I mean, he was fucking trying to argue that Darnold is better than Josh, and it's like, dude, how fucking wrong could you be? The only thing that Sam Darnold is better than Josh is fucking getting mono. I mean, he barely won half his games last year, and he only got to 7-6 because we rested our starters in week 17 and let them win. Josh led us to the fucking playoffs, man. And now that we have Diggs, he's gonna be a fucking star. We're gonna go to the Super Bowl this year, man. I mean, just look at the stats. Josh is already developing.
Brody,
and
man,
fucking Sam Darnold already has that bug-eyed, smelling, salt-huffing lunatic Adam Gase fucking him up. I mean, so what if he coached Peyton Manning in Denver? It's not like Peyton Manning wasn't already Peyton fucking Manning when he went to Denver. It's like saying you had made Joe Montana good by coaching him when he was on the goddamn Chiefs.
Brody, man, I gotta go. I have class.
Oh, all right, yeah, class, man. Feels like we don't even have those anymore. You're in that ghost class, right?
Well, I make it a ghost class, but that's just me. It's Marcus Smith's comp elective on space and place in Buffalo. What? Wait, do you listen to me through the walls all the time?
Nah, man, my friend's in that class. Recognized you on your porch last time it was over.
Sounds about right.
Anyway, I think I saw a fucking ghost last week. I was sitting on my porch trying to cool off because I got heated because my friend texted me some bullshit about the Sabres. And as I'm sort of yelling at my phone, there was this fucking slamming blonde in some sort of weird dress walking down the street. And I was like, oh shit, sorry for yelling. And she ignored me. So I'm like, whatever, and looked back at my phone and she was like staring at me at the bottom of my porch, just watching me, man. And I was like, this is weird, but you know, quarantine really dries up the well, so you gotta take what you can get. So I'm really
totally
spitting game, and she's not really responding, but she's not leaving it. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is going somewhere. So I invite her into the apartment and turn her around to open the door. But when I looked up a second later to see if she was following, she was like gone, man. And I don't mean like went far down the street. I mean like fucking vanished, man.
Yeah,
and I was like, fuck,
for sure.
Bro, there you go, again, scaring off chicks with your passion again. But then I was like, wait. That's not normal. She couldn't have disappeared that fast. I was looking away for like a second.
Man.
So like, does that sound like any of the shit from your ghost class?
I mean, ghosts can disappear, I guess. I don't know, man. I gotta go.
In this next clip, it appears that Adam is recording a Zoom lecture with his university instructor. I guess he just records everything, huh?
All right, folks, I think with that, we're going to move toward wrapping up just a little bit early today, but with a little thing called quarantine kind of dragging
can you repeat the last bit?
Come on, man. Oh, I'm just going to go on ahead and use the mute all function here as we wrap a few last items of business up. What did you say your question was again, Adam?
Do you mind repeating that last bit about the asylums and stuff?
You mean like the whole thing?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a long bit. Maybe it would be a better use of our time if we could just...
Oh my god, come on,
Please,
man.
Marcus, sorry, I mean Professor Smith, it's relevant to the creative project I want to work on.
No need to apologize at all. Marcus is fine, really, and until I can get a damn job, you know. Okay, but I'm gonna make it quick. So, the asylum began as a place where marginalized people deemed unfit for society could be tucked aside and contained. Generally speaking, what would have been called lunacy in the 16th century gradually shifts from being seen as a domestic problem contained within the family to a public issue that needed a public solution. Depending on who you ask, this shift either corresponds with the Enlightenment values or with the rise of industrialization.
Well, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's important to factor in both the sensationalizing of the asylum in Hollywood and such, and any ideologically motivated whitewashing of these places when you're trying to make sense of the history of institutionalization. So in short, while not everything was some kind of house of horrors or something, and there certainly were progressive attempts in the early industry, it's also an irrefutable truth that there were downright barbaric practices happening in these institutions, and often in the name of reform.
Wait, when you talk about, good practices, what do you mean?
Well, when I use a term like, oh, come on, guys, that's not what the group message function is for. Let's hear out what Adam has to say here. So, if you look at something like the Kirkbride Plan that caught on throughout the mid-1800s, which influenced our own asylum design right here in Buffalo, by the way, you can see how some of these reforms weren't entirely unlike what we might prescribe today. Kirkbride had this idea that if you could construct the architecture of the facilities itself in such a way that it would maximize the exposure of air and sunlight for patients, it could have therapeutic effects. This actually led to them building asylums under this so-called Kirkbride Plan in the shape of bat wings, which really wasn't intended to be as creepy as it ultimately ended up looking. There were also earlier folks like Dr. Benjamin Rush in the late 1800s who pioneered what's often called moral treatment, which meant doing away with the shackles and physical restraints and focusing on a blend of both psychosocial treatment and religiously motivated treatment.
So, then, where does the, bad stuff come into play?
Moral treatment had its downsides. If any of you all are English or sociology majors, you may have come across the works of Michel Foucault on this topic. He kind of points out that moral treatment was also basically just moral conditioning motivated by Christian values and couldn't really operate as meaningful therapy as such.
So much for getting out early.
Okay, well, note to self to tinker with the Zoom settings so students can't unmute themselves. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So Rush and the moral treatment crowd might have been talking to their patients as if they were human, but, they also practiced some terrible things. It's not a coincidence or a reflection of any biological truth that women were disproportionately institutionalized during these times, and therefore subjected to these kinds of bodily treatments. These asylums would do things like only semi-controlled bleeding out of patients, which was a common practice at the time. They called it bloodletting. Things like hydrotherapy, which sometimes involved blasting patients with hot, cold jets of water, and other times involved, well, almost mummifying them in these heavily saturated sheets. They would have the tiniest slits for the nose to breathe, but not much more than that. A lot of the institutional histories describe hydrotherapy as this sort of pleasant, bath-like experience, and, well, I don't know. Maybe that happened too, but if you dig deep enough, you can see these photographs. These cracked sepia photographs of big rooms like hospital wards with these twin-sized beds lined up, row after row. Every single one of them filled with another body wrapped up in these wet sheets. Even in the graininess of those old photos, you can see just how little they can move. And the attendants, they all have that glazed, routine expression in their eyes, like this had just become so normal to them.
Is that... that kind of sounds like waterboarding.
Well, yeah, without saying too much, I'll say I think that's a relevant comparison. These kinds of treatments were ultimately the predecessors to the more famously inhumane ones, like chemically induced seizures administered upon patients through metrazole and electroshock therapy in its least controlled measures.
You didn't mention that stuff about the waterboarding treatment or whatever when you told us about this stuff earlier.
Yeah, well, I figured that would be the last thing we'd want to talk about, given, well, this whole situation we find ourselves in. Oh boy. Okay, well, in the spirit of closing things out here, I'll say this. If you wanted to be a real knucklehead, dodge some cops, hop a fence, and definitely break some trespassing laws, which obviously I'm not saying you should do. Man, it's really creepy to see you guys laugh like that when I've got you all muted. But yes, you could see this history unfolding right in our neighborhood at the old Buffalo State Lunatic Asylum. You know what? Hell, you can encounter this history in action right now next time your Facebook loudmouth uncle compares being quarantined to being locked up because your aunt can't get a haircut. But you folks in this classroom know a whole lot better than that, right? Because we're seeing some concrete examples of what limiting someone's mobility ideologically and physically looks like, and a face mask is most definitely not it. Okay, well, I'm going to get off my soapbox now, and... Okay, here. Let's unmute you all now so we can say our farewells and ask any logistical questions. Okay, there we go. Oh, and before I turn it over to you folks for questions, folks, a few things. First, those final papers and creative projects are sneaking up faster than you'd think on quarantine time, so feel free to stop on my Zoom office hours, or even just catch me quick after class if you want to talk through any ideas that may be percolating over. Second, I know I usually offer to link to external resources from our conversations, but seeing as I'm sure we all have way too much toilet paper-induced trauma to imagine being mummified in searing hot soaked sheets, I think I'll just wish you all a good day and wrap things up with... Oh. Damn. You know what? That actually isn't the best choice of words. Guys, you know what? I'll see you all later.
Hi, everyone. This is Bowen Yang.
And Matt Rogers,
co-hosts of the podcast Las Culturistas. We're inviting you to treat yourself with the gift of pleasure.
Yes. And who better to help facilitate that pleasure gift than Trojan, America's #1 condom brand?
I love a pleasure gift from Trojan. And Trojan Ecstasy Ultra Ribbed has a unique design that actually lets you feel the pleasure and not the condom.
Now, explain this to me. Explain how this works. Elaborate.
Oh, I'd be happy to. So this condom has extra deep ribs at the base and end to increase stimulation, so you're both sure to experience ecstasy.
Dare I ask, does this condom have lubricant?
Does Taylor Swift write songs well?
I think she does.
Yeah,
She's
I think
famously
so.
a songwriter. It's what gives her an edge over the other girls.
It has an ultra-smooth premium lubricant inside and out for a more natural feel.
Now tell me about the shape. I need to know about the shape.
You are a shape girl. The Trojan Ecstasy Ultra Ribbed Comfort Shape allows free movement for a more natural experience.
Well, I'm in. I'm sold. This condom is the past, present, and future.
Pick up some Trojan Ecstasy Ultra Ribbed condoms, triple tested and trusted for over 100 years.
Trojan, feel your best. Get yours on.
El Todos Hablamos McDonald's Deal. Porque cuando están decidiendo qué ordenar y la tía Carmen te dice
McNuggets, mijo, y una de las hamburguesas con esa salsita, ¿sabes?
Ya tú sabes que eso significa una Big Mac. Y lo sabes porque tú también amas esa salsita. Hay un meal para cada cena familiar en McDonald's. Ordena por anticipado por el app de McDonald's y llévate 2 de tus favoritos, como McNuggets de 10 piezas y una Big Mac por solo $6. Precios y participación pueden variar. Producto individual a precio regular.
Yes, Adam?
Do you think you could actually send out those pictures?
There's no way to be sure, but something tells me this next recording takes place later that night. Adam seems to me like the kind of person who gets an idea like this into his head and then acts, and then thinks.
Let go! Let go! No, fuck, where is it? Fuck, where is it? Where'd I put it? No, fuck! No, the recorder.
Seems to me like he's also the kind of person who keeps putting out a glass of water on the nightstand night after night, even though he keeps knocking it over.
No, god damn it. Oh, fuck, it's gonna have water damage. Oh, fuck, that was so expensive.
So if he was looking for his recorder on the nightstand, I would assume that means he was recording himself sleep. That's odd.
Okay. I'm gonna do what you said, River. Assuming this thing isn't water damaged, you told me if I started recording my dreams for our next session, maybe we could try to dissect some of my anxieties. I'm going to choose to believe that's true, because, I think you said I have to if I want it to work. I'm on the beach. I think I'm at home, but it doesn't look like home. The shore is rocky and the water is restless. Waves crash against the shore, but everyone there is having a good time. I look to my left. My ex is there, and she's smiling, and I think that I haven't seen her smiling in so long. Then I'm on a boat, a rowboat, and there's someone else rowing, facing me. In the dream, I know them, but I can't recognize the face when I think back on it. I read somewhere years ago that you only see faces you've seen before in your dreams. Your subconscious can't create new faces whole cloth. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, I wonder who they were and why they felt so familiar. In the dream, the water is calmer now. I can see these two jet-black monoliths rising like skyscrapers out of the ocean. We're getting closer to rowing between them. The other person is saying something to me, lecturing me about something almost. I can't hear them. I'm not paying attention. Or rather, I am paying attention, but I can't hear them anyway. As we pass through the monoliths, I can see these people in the water. They're all wearing robes and just staring at me, watching me pass through with this blank expression. I start feeling terrified, but I don't know why. I'm horrified by the people in the robes, and I want to jump out of the boat, but my legs just won't work. It's like they aren't even attached to my body, like they aren't even mine. I just sit there feeling afraid. The person in the boat is screaming now. I can tell by the look on their face, but they still don't make a sound. A whirlpool is opening up in front of us, behind my friend, in front of me, but my mouth can't form the words to warn them. No part of me will listen to me, and I see a hand, or something like a hand. I don't remember it well, but it didn't feel human. It reaches up, it grabs the boat, and it starts pulling us, and then it grabs my throat, and it starts choking me, and it's just like all the dreams where I get COVID, and I know that these are going to be my last breaths. And then I woke up, screaming, covered in sweat. I gotta be honest, River. I have no idea what it means, but it can't be good. I should probably try to sleep again. Not that it matters. Not like there's really anything to get up for anymore, what with everything going on. I mean, my first class isn't even until 2:30, and it's not half as interesting as Marcus's class. I don't know what it is about hearing about cities being burnt down, architects fighting over who's going to design what park, that I find soothing, but I don't know. I don't understand my brain. I think that's kind of obvious. Well, I guess there's nothing to do but sleep anyway. I hope this helps somehow. Okay, I'm gonna go back to bed.
He leaves the recorder on, and there are exactly 2 minutes and 39 seconds of tossing and turning before he picks it back up, and the inevitable happens.
Hey, River. You're not, obligated to report any, stuff that I, say or do, right? Because you're my therapist.
Adam doesn't immediately specify where he is in this next recording, but I don't think I need to tell you, do I?
Okay, we're recording. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm standing outside Hotel Henry, a hotel that is attached to the site of the Buffalo State Lunatic Asylum. I'm gonna do whatever I can to get into the haunted bits and see where some of the bad shit went down. I think I'm gonna just do audio for a little bit so none of the staff sees me recording and wigs out. I mean, I don't know what they'd be worried about, but I don't know. Some people are weird about filming under normal circumstances, so better not risk it now. I'd hate to get kicked out without actually seeing any of the old complex. I doubt they have cameras or anything, but even if they do, between this mask and the dark, it should be enough that they can't identify me. As long as I stay quiet, I should be fine.
I'm sure they have cameras. The real question is whether or not they watch them.
God, those fucking towers are creepy as hell. No wonder people think this place is haunted. This is supposed to be some progressive treatment center. It looks more like some rich eccentric's murder mansion. Alright, I'm inside the hotel. I think I'll check around the renovated parts real quick. Look for any evidence of anything weird. Okay, from what I can tell, nobody's here. I guess that's not surprising. I don't know, staying in a hotel at a time like this, especially here of all places. I mean, I can't believe this building used to be part of an asylum. Alright, I think I'm gonna switch the camera on and film for a bit.
Now this is the weirdest thing about all this. Adam makes it crystal clear he's shooting actual video for this project.
Alright, okay, great. Looks like it's filming. Oh my god, this feels so weird. People vlog for a living.
But every legit version of every recording attributed to the Queen City recordings are audio only. Most people familiar with the project that I've talked to say that it's always been audio only. They claim the guys who made this envisioned a found footage thing but couldn't make it look right or afford to make the monsters or something like that. It's hard to say. Most of the time, Adam's observations could just as easily be for an audio project or a film project. He tells us what's there like a podcaster would. But it's dark enough that approach might be feasible on film as well. This is a good example.
Alright, looks like a lot of the original stuff from the asylum's still here. Weird staircases that don't go anywhere. These tiny doorways, all the old tile and stuff. I haven't seen any ghosts, though. Maybe I should try and check out the unrenovated parts. Yeah, maybe ghosts prefer places with less people in them. Like, I don't know, animals or something.
It's hard to say whether or not there was originally videos from samples like this. I spoke to an old mod on the Real Ghost Stories forums where some people say the tapes first appeared. They said that when the original poster was still around and posting the tapes themselves, there were a few dark videos attached. But one day, all those videos vanished, along with the person making the posts. And then, these edited audio versions started showing up. The mod said they hadn't saved any of the videos, and I haven't been able to track down anyone to even corroborate the story, let alone show me the original videos. You don't need a video to figure out what happened next.
Alright, coast is clear. I don't think anyone saw me. Man, I'm glad I didn't cut myself this time. Guess they aren't too worried about people sneaking in. Doesn't look like anybody's watching. I don't see any cameras. I mean, it's an old, kind of rundown building, I guess. Some shit in the corner and they must be pulling out of rooms or something. Old beds, some tables. Just junk. Honestly, I'm pretty glad I have the mask right now. I'm almost more worried about asbestos or mold than the virus. That's a joke, Professor.
He still calls Marcus Professor. He can't help himself.
Sorry. Okay. Making my way through a hallway. Oh, shit. Can you see that? Well, it's not ideal at the moment. There's just like a fucking dead rat in the corner of the room. Oh, fuck. It looks like something's been eating it. Ugh, maybe this was a mistake. I'm gonna spend a few more minutes looking around. If I can't find a ghost, maybe I can at least find, like, a treatment room or something. Oh, looks like there's some sort of leak in the roof or something. This whole hallway's damp. I'm gonna have to throw out these shoes. Reeks of mildew and mold in here. Not a good sign. It's weird, though. I don't think it's rained recently.
Without an exact date, this is hard to verify. But if this is in early to mid-March, like I think it is, then he's correct, according to Weather Underground's records.
Oh, okay. There's a room right here that looks a little bit different. Oh, damn, this must be where the leak is. There's like an inch or two of water in here. It seems like some sort of treatment room, I guess. I mean, I assume that's what it was. It's bigger than the bedrooms I passed by, but I don't think it's big enough to be like a dining hall or anything. Looks like there's a few exposed pipes along the back wall there. I guess it could have been a bathroom. Oh my god, shit. I bet this is one of those rooms where they administered the hydrotherapy you were talking about, Marcus. Sorry. Okay. I don't know if it's just me, but the room feels like a lot colder now. Okay, yeah. No, something like feels really off, and there's something on the ground here. Is it tar? No, it must just be water, or maybe like mud. This is disgusting. It looks like it leads up to the window and then it's just gone. Maybe something was in here. Maybe I should go. Ow! Oh. What was that? Okay. It's fine. It's just a construction helmet. It's also pretty damp. I'm sure that a worker here must have just forgotten it. Looks like there's a name inside. Barry Gossett. Well, whatever. I don't know. Well, I don't think he's gonna want this back anyway. It's pretty gross. I better get out of... Oh, fuck. Wait a minute. It's empty here. Of course it's empty here. It's empty everywhere now. It's just like the damn raccoons on my porch. I think the trail might actually lead somewhere. I think someone was in here.
I did some digging to see if I could find anything out about that construction worker. Because, well, you'll see. His name was Barry Gustkowski, which I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. He was a construction worker from East Aurora, 45 years old, divorced, 3 kids, missing since January 2020. It's amazing what you can find with a few small clues in a Google search. If these recordings are somebody's creepypasta, then they really did their homework. If not, well, I don't even want to think about that. In the next recording, it seems like Adam has just left the building.
Okay, so I wasn't planning on recording anymore. I know you're really busy, Marcus, and this is sort of off the cuff, but, I was leaving the old asylum, and, as I was walking back, I noticed, well, like a trail, in the grass leading off into some of the neighborhoods, and it seemed pretty recent, so I thought that it might have been someone else who had been inside. Maybe I could interview them, see if they saw anything. No luck yet, but, I'll spend a few more minutes on it. Let's see what it turns up.
He walks in silence for a time.
Okay, so, I don't know when I started recording before, but it's been more than a few minutes. I've been following the trail, and I don't know if you can see from the video, but it's still really dark out. But it looks like I'm in a residential area of some kind, maybe about 1.5 miles out from the old hospital. Not sure how far I am from downtown or in what direction, but you can't shake hands through the windows anymore, so that says something.
It does. He's getting closer to the suburbs.
I have no idea why someone would walk this far out or how much of this wet stuff they could have tracked, but here we are. Honestly, if I had to bet on it, I'd guess someone's been taking refuge up there during quarantine. These Buffalo winters can't be easy on anyone who's homeless. No idea in hell how they would have avoided breaking a leg on that jump, but the trail kept going from right there at the bottom, so I don't know. Shit, I might have scared them, actually. Honestly, I don't think anyone hiding out in an old lunatic hospital would be well received in a place like this anyways. I have no idea what they're even doing in a posh kind of place like this. I mean, I think I see someone just walking around. They look kind of dazed. They're just kind of ambling through somebody's lawn. It doesn't look like they live here. What the... What is that? Is that one of theirs? Is that a hospital gown? Hey, are you okay? Do you need help? My name's Adam Combs. I didn't mean to scare you. I was just poking around on a school project, and I saw you come here. Do you need me to call the police? I'm sorry, I can't quite hear you. What are you pointing at? Hey, wait. Can you talk? Can you tell me who you are? Wait, stop it. Stop!
Where are you going, Dr. Lennon? Am I going home today? I think I miss the lake the most. My family used to make trips out there in the summers. We'd sleep on the beach. Are they here now? I hope Mother came too. I haven't seen her since they put me here. I didn't stop crying for days when she said goodbye. Is it silly that all I want is for her to hold me one more time?
Wait, what do you... What
Thanks, Doctor, you're too kind. What's this room for? I don't think I've ever been here before. There's so many orderlies here. Are they always here when you get released?
Stop.
This is going to help me. What do you mean?
Get off
I thought I was already better.
Get off me! Get off!
Don't be tight.
Get off!
What do you think? I can't see. I hate the dark. Please, let me see. I can't see. Please don't make me do this. I'm feeling better. I promise. Please let me go.
I don't want to. Oh, God.
I'll be better. Please don't make me do this. You promised. You promised. Dr. Brennan, please. Dr. Brennan. Alma. Oh, Dr. Brennan, she'll be so confused. Alma. Emilia. Isolde, Schulig, Usha. You'll tell them, won't you? Tell them of me, please. Tell them I'm stuck inside all of this. Tell them where I am and that I love them and it's dark and I'm scared and I can't breathe and I'm stuck.
What is it? It's a face.
It's
yours. It's yours.
Yours close. Tell them I'm stuck. Tell them I'm stuck. Tell them I'm stuck. Tell them I'm stuck. I'm stuck face down in the water.
Please.
Tell them I'm stuck and I turn up for air, but I'm stuck with more water. I'm stuck. Let yours come off. Tell them I'm stuck. Tell them the lake doesn't end when you can see the sun. Tell them I can't come up and there's only more water on top. Tell them I'm stuck between two lakes. Tell them I'm stuck. Emilia, Arik, Isolde, Schulig, Usha. Mama, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Tell them I'm stuck. Dr. Brennan, yours come off, Dr. Brennan.
I'll tell them. I swear. Please.
Please. Let me tell them. I want them to know.
And then we arrive here.
And when it was on me, oh my god, fuck. No, and then it just... And then it just wasn't anymore. And I was lying there, thinking it didn't happen. That maybe I'd had another anxiety attack. But I saw my face mask lying there on the ground. The elastic headband I'd cut into strings were snapped, where it would have been ripped off my face. I think that fuck. I think it thought that I was all bound up like it was. I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening.
If we're expected to believe this is all real, then this is the moment it started. The moment that the only person who moved toward Buffalo, New York from sunny Florida instead of away from it decided to commit to the bit and go as deep into that city's roots as he possibly could. To find all the tragic, bitter, and vile stories the Rust Belt's most haunted city has to offer. To tell the stories of the damned, and to stay 6 feet away from his demons. Because, as I think Adam realized that night, when our quarantine began, their quarantine finally came to an end.
They told me it was stuck. I don't know what's gonna happen to me if I can't fix that.
That was Move Away Episode 1, Facemask.
Starring Joseph Giglio as Adam Combs, Alyssa DeWeese as Chaz the narrator, Kevin Cooley as Marcus Smith, Dominic Lavallo as Brody Battaglia, and Allison Blinkhorn as the Wrapped Woman.
Hi folks, I'm Kevin Cooley.
And I'm Joseph Giglio.
We're the writers and creators of Move Away.
And we just wanted to thank you for tuning into our audio drama podcast.
If you've made it this far and want to support us further, please consider giving us a follow on social media at Move Away Podcast, or by telling a friend who might enjoy the show. All the accounts are linked down in the description below. Please consider subscribing or giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, which helps others find the show through the arcane magic of the internet.
There's also a Ko-Fi link if you want to support the show in another way, but don't feel obligated. Listening to the show is more than enough.
We also want to thank the other members of the cast, Allison Blinkhorn, Alyssa DeWeese, and Dominic Lavallo for all of their hard work.
We'll be back in a few weeks with Episode 2, Terminal Union, where our unlucky hero will visit the legendary Buffalo Central Terminal at the height of quarantine.
The massive abandoned terminal is said to be the resting place for the spirits of passengers who never reached their final destination. Let's hope Adam doesn't find his final destination there too.
Stay safe out there, folks.
And if you need a dose of macabre quarantine catharsis soon, we got you covered.
We'll see you next time. Until we meet again, stay 6 feet away from your demons.
Check out all of Indie Drop-In shows at indiedropin.com. If you would like your show featured, reach out to us at Indie Drop-In on all social media or go to indiedropin.com.
You coming to bed, hon?
Yep, honey, I'll be right there. Just gotta turn out the light. Ow! 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 Ah! Ah!
Some things never change. Like your kids always leaving tiny toys on the floor for you to step on. And Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
Sweetie, I think I left the downstairs light on.
Please don't make me go.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.